I've put well over 60 hours into Gurdon and in the world of Kardmi so far, with many more to come, I assume. What does this game do well? What does it do? What could it do better? And what is it doing that is absolutely, I think, revolutionizing the monster taming genre? Well, let's dive into it. Welcome back to the channel, trainers. It's Critical Kardmi. I make almost daily Kardmi content, news, breakdowns, guides, all that good stuff. This is your home for everything Kardmi. And I want to preface this video uh, specifically with this idea that I am a casual player. I casually play video games. I work full time. I work 12-hour shifts. I have 2 kids at home and a beautiful wife. And so I don't have a ton of time to game. But even when I do game, I've never been the kind of person who uh, can just sit there and play the same game month after month, week after week, month after month. That's just not been me. And typically, with my ADHD, I'll hyperfixate on something and I'll focus hard on it for maybe 21 days if you're lucky. But this game, Kardmi, has absolutely changed the way I look at games, and it has been the exception to the rule because here I am, a month in, and I'm not slowing down. I'm not getting bored. I'm not thinking about playing other games. All I can think about is the future of Kardmi and how much potential this game has. What I'm going to start with is I'm going to talk about the world. Uh, the graphics are absolutely stunning. You look at this and you think I'm playing on a PC or an Xbox. Uh, it just looks amazing. No, if I were to show you just this footage alone and tell you I'm playing on an Android, albeit a high-end Android, you would not believe that is what I am on. But the graphics are absolutely groundbreaking, I think. The music, the soundtrack is amazing. Every town, there's 4 towns so far in the game, has its own unique soundtrack, has its own unique um, audio cues, different sounds that'll happen inside the towns, and each interaction that you do with different vendors and events and things like that. The battle music, stellar. I it's just something that you have to experience. Now, again, I do want to preface. I don't think this is a game. This game is a 10 out of 10, but visually, absolutely stunning. I mean, just look at this overworld, and it's got the kind of like the Pokemon Arceus, the Power World, the that kind of overworld, and I think this is what we're going to see more in the future of tamer games, where it's more in the overworld. We're not really running out of the grass anymore and finding them. You're actually seeing in the overworld, and I appreciate that art style and that um, direction because I feel like that's so much better now. I'm nostalgic. I enjoyed Pokemon games quite a bit growing up, but I do think this is a good shift for the genre as a whole. And this game does it so well. I think my only critique that I can think of is I really wish that they would enable us to explore the wilds with our friends, because this is a multiplayer game. There are multiplayer capabilities. You can team up and you can do raids that are limited time with your friends and take down these limited time Kardmi and capture them and bring them back with you. And that's something that's really cool. They also have a housing system, which is not super fleshed out. I will admit I was disappointed when I saw the housing system because I read about it before I started playing, or early on when I started playing. And you have to get to a certain point in the first town before you unlock the housing system. And I did that side quest, unlock the house, and it's underwhelming right now. But I have no doubt that Seven Pirates, the devs, have plans to um, expand on housing, and I hope so, because right now you can invite your friends over and they can hang out, or you can invite a friend over. They can see you, you can see them, and they can run around your property. That's pretty sweet. They can see some of the Kardmi that you caught there. That's pretty sweet. They just need to expand on it. And I wish that you could bring your friends out with you in the wild and help you catch wild Kardmi. I wish you could run around town with your friends and fight NPCs. I understand that you have to do a little bit of balancing with NPCs, fighting two players, but it can be done. There are other games out there, such as Temtem, that are co-op monster tamer games that follow the same formula. So it can be done here. Again, I think the game is fantastic, but that's just a little critique and something that I think that would really, really improve the game. What I want to talk about now is I want to talk about a little bit of the gacha mechanics on mobile, and then we're going to also talk about combat in the game, because I know a lot of you guys who maybe are newer to Kardmi or have never tried the game before are really curious about the combat system. So, going back to Gacha for a minute, the one thing I really enjoy about this game in particular is there's no Gacha mechanic. So, they do have these vending machines around different towns called skilled card machines. And what they do is, in other games, other monster tamers, as your creatures level up, they will learn different abilities when they hit the required level. In Kardmi, what you do is you go to these vending machines, you open packs of cards that contain skills, and the game will tell you, hey, this Kardmi can learn this skill, this one can learn this skill. And a lot of times you don't get the ability to use those higher end skills. Like, you can get them out of the packs, but Kardmi don't learn them or can't learn them until they're at their final forms and final evolutions. But the game is super generous on skill coins that it gives you for free for vending and for the vending machines. It's super generous on the currency that it gives you for the vending machines that you earn in game, as well as it's just super generous in terms of dropping S tier, A tier, and S tier skills, which are the highest end skills. Even better than that, they do have a pity system where, hey, every 100 draws, you're guaranteed to be able to pick from whatever skill that you want to out of an entire loot pool, which is super sweet because you'll run through 100 pulls before you even know it. There's a microtransaction shop, but it's very small, very limited. I've not spent any money in this game. I don't see a reason to. Um, I just, you don't get a whole lot for your money. And I think that's done intentionally so that people don't feel forced to buy anything, because like I said, the packages that you get are very small. Matter of fact, I didn't even show them this in this video because they're so minute, which is crazy because this game is a free game and you would assume it needs these microtransactions to thrive. So say I don't know how the future of this game is going to be without those microtransactions. My guess is this game is going to launch on consoles and on Steam. I believe that most likely is how, because this is a soft launch phase. The game's not in a 1.0 stage yet, but that's my guess about how this game is going to sustain itself financially speaking. Combat, absolutely fantastic. The creature design is one of the best looking things in the game. I think the art took me a little bit of time to get used to, but when you really get into the game, you start looking at some of these creatures, they look fantastic. And the moves that they can do, the FX that you get with the moves for a mobile phone, it's stunning. They look good. They look hard hitting. It's a great mechanic. I have just a ton of fun watching these battles, even play out on auto, because you can play it on auto if you like to. Um, for example, I know there are times where I'm sitting here at work and I need to go do something, but I want to train my Kardmi. So I'll take them to what's called the Battle Cafe and have them do a couple of rounds with the training in the training section. Set them on auto until my team runs out of the tickets for the Battle Cafe, and then I don't even have to worry about training for the rest of the day. So it's absolutely fantastic. Um, I do think the leveling system could use a little tweaking. I think we should be able to get a little more XP from fighting NPCs and fighting wild card me a day, because it is capped. And I went into a full rant in a previous video that I'll link in the bio or in the description that I think having a capped amount of experience a day in a free mobile game is not the negative that people make it out to be. Because again, they don't want you running through the entire game in an afternoon. And then because then you'll be hollering on the Discord that there's no content or everything's too easy. So I do think it could use some tweaking, but overall I think the system that they have in place is really good. And the last thing that I wanted to talk about really quickly is just the overall narrative, the story of the game. Um, it's super interesting, and you don't typically get that a lot of times with these Monster Tamer games. I've played a lot of them over the years. I've played Power World, I've played Temtem, I've played some of the Pokemon games. They've been a little bit older. I think the last ones I've played are like Sword and Shield and Pokemon Let's Go. They're a little older, but this narrative is absolutely fantastic. I mean, spoiler alert, with no context, it won't make any sense if you guys hadn't seen it. But if you are playing if you are playing Kardmi right now and you're super interested in the story, this is your chance to avoid spoilers. I'm going to show you guys this cutscene that happens near the end of the game, and it's absolutely mind blowing. It's fantastic, and it gives me a lot of hope for what is coming in the future of the game. I'm going to let it play in the background. You guys, watch it if you want to. But I would love to know you guys' thoughts on Cardmi so far. If you guys think it'll have a successful future, what kind of content you would love to see coming from Cardmi. I know they have season 2 coming up very soon. I'm really excited about it. But thank you guys so much for watching the content, and I really appreciate it. I will catch you guys in the next one.
Thanks for your card. Stick to the plan.